What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Showdown Breakdown, where my turd's at, where we're taking a look at the Thursday Night Football Showdown on FanDuel and DraftKings between the Bucs and the Bills. With me to break it down, Bobby Millions, a.k.a. Bobby Moneybags, a.k.a. I unfriend you. What would Bobbywow do? That's what we're doing. We're breaking this thing down. So, Bobbywow, we got a good one, I think. Bills at the Bucs at the Bills.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. You know, not the greatest quarterback matchup, but that's okay. There's a lot of other different angles here that we're gonna bet on and win some money on. So It's gonna be great.
Some good spots, some players that are out that we'll need to go over, and some backups that are of interest. So we got a lot to break down here, and let's just dive right in.
Geek. Now, just to get it out of the way, are you a biased Baker hater or a biased Baker lover? Or are you just indifferent?
I have no will, ill or otherwise, towards Baker.
Okay, I'm the same way, but it feels like most people fall on one of those extremes. So just want to make sure.
No, I think he's been fine with this team. He's not a great fantasy producer, but I feel like he's been fine with teams that aren't the Browns. Maybe it's the Browns that suck.
Maybe.
Seems like quarterbacks go to the Browns to get worse. So I don't know. I really don't. But getting right into this one. So let's talk Buffalo here. Buffalo is a pretty heavy favorite in this matchup at home. 9.5 point. God, I should have had that right? Open in front of me. I should have had that open in front of me, but significant favorite Buffalo at home, right? So the running back situation for Buffalo has been interesting. James Cook actually had a pretty good score last week, or was at least utilized a bit. But the split here, 52% to 45% Cook to Murray, with Lance Murray being in the game when on the goal line situations.
Yeah, it's tough. Buffalo Bills running backs, typically not the first place you want to target with Josh Allen. It makes me a little less interested with the Lance Murray thing, but you're right. James Cook was the primary usage guy in terms of touches. So he's definitely the RB1 on that scenario.
Yeah, he just lacks that touchdown upside. And I did see a couple of deep passes to James Cook, which was encouraging last week in that game. But
that's how he scored.
Yeah, it's great. Like, you need him doing that passing game work, though. He is not somebody that is a lock button by any stretch. Looking through the rest of the offense here, Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis are just like out there all the time. Diggs is sporting a massive 33% target share on the season, which is as elite as it gets.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. Where Gabe Davis is out there all the time, but he's doing his usual thing, averaging 15%. If you figure 40 targets in a game, 15%, you're looking at about 6 targets in an up game from Josh Allen. For WR3, though, it gets kind of weird for the Bills. Deontay Hardy, K-Shack, and Trent Sherfield are all kind of out there a little bit. It looks like Shakir is probably the most likely to get a target of that group.
Yeah, they're all, all three could see a couple targets. Shakir is really expensive. So those guys are mix and match in MME, but, not a lot of scoring expected.
Yeah. And that's right. And the big one this week, I think, is Dalton Kincaid. Listen, everybody's going to be playing Kincaid. Let's get real. This is going to be the highest owned player on the entire slate. He's priced at a he's massively underpriced for what his likely outcomes are.
Absolutely.
Highest owned guy, Bobbywow, before I look at the ownerships.
I thought he would be. I don't know that he's gotten there quite yet, but to me, this is good chalk. So I don't even care either way.
There it is. The rare, it's good chalk call from Bobbywow. That is big.
Which maybe is a sign that it's not good chalk.
No,
but that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, that's big. Antoine's already fading Diggs and Kincaid.
Wow. Okay. Who are you going to play?
None of that. He's going all James Cook and Josh Allen. So on the other side, Tampa, Rachaad White. This dude is getting a ton of work, and he just does nothing with it. It's wild to see a guy where in week 8, he's a 70 to 80% target share, opportunity share running back, but the fantasy production has just not been there.
No, it's been a rough go for White. But like you said, I think the noteworthy thing is just that the Bucs seem to be committed to him as the lead back, the clear lead back. So that's noteworthy.
The usage solid, all that other stuff. I'm seeing like in the chat here, and I've and some other places talking about Chase Edmonds. Tell me why I should be interested in Chase Edmonds.
Or he was activated. He was activated off the IR, so it looks like he's going to play tonight. And look, the guy can catch passes at the end of the day, right? Even in limited action, he's someone who could be targeted 5 times, catch 4 passes, and that might be all it takes at min price. So I don't think he's going to seed into too much of Rachaad White's work. But in terms of like a DraftKings punt, yeah, there's some interest there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Interesting. At wide receiver, it's funny that the target share has been the same between Evans and Godwin. I'm surprised when I look and see that, because it feels like Godwin has been the lesser of the two, that Evans has been, and he has been the better fantasy producer for whatever reason. But I'm a little surprised that they're getting similar target shares. But, Evans has been the guy for the team so far this year and catching the touchdowns and doing the damage via the pass.
Yeah. Yep.
At WR3, Trey Palmer, potential low ownership, 64. So Trey Palmer's out there as much as anybody. 64%.
Just not doing a whole lot, and he's pricier than you'd like. But yeah, he is. He's the third guy out. He'll be on the field more than any of the other guys below him. So
yeah, and just some other usage numbers. I see that you've got these other 2 random wide receivers, Devin Tompkins and Raheem Jarrett, that not only are on the field, but they're actually getting, especially Devin Tompkins. Who is this guy, right? 9% target share on the season, 7% last week. Devin Tompkins. Is he 200?
Yeah, he's in play.
Can I get him for 200 this week?
I don't think he's quite min price, but he's close. He's down there.
Man, these turds are going to be in lineups, man. This is how you make it work. You're going to have
this is as viable of turds as I've ever seen on this slate.
Yeah, so there are some live turds here on this one. I mean, every one of these guys, Raheem, it could be Raheem. It could be Devin Tompkins. You can't X that out. You can't unfriend him. No. Cade Otton, 95% of the snaps, which is another guy who doesn't do a whole lot with those snaps, but he's out there.
Yeah, fine. He's out there too.
He's there. I feel like O'Keefe is the kind of name that should be on our Where My Turds At spinner. O'Keefe won us a showdown. Like, you'll get a O'Keefe jersey.
That's true. I did not consider that before making the notes. So
yeah,
O'Keefe, that is, yeah.
It seems like the kind of player that would be on the Where My Turds At spinner. Let's take a look here at, I've got the Domination Station, Showdown, cheat sheet. Let's go to cheat sheet. I was kind of thinking that maybe I shouldn't show this on screen, that we should just like talk about it and not show it.
Man, I don't know. That's tough.
It's like a change of format. All right, we'll go. We'll put the sheet up on the screen here. But I had this thought in my head that I shouldn't show it. I should just talk about it. But let's talk captain spot for DraftKings this week, and take me through your preferred captain plays, Bobbywow. Josh Allen at the top of the list, it seems like.
Yeah, I think it's Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and then kind of the rest. Allen is a guy, we've seen the upside before. He's been up and down a little bit, but he's always got slate breaking upside. And the reality is he's typically priced up a little bit higher. So 11,800 for Josh Allen isn't all that much more than Diggs. And so Diggs is another guy. I mean, we've seen massive scores out of him. He can easily outscore Allen as well. And those two guys could break a slate, any slate. So I think they're the clear cut too.
I don't think you can, based on these two salaries over 11K, I don't, without having made a lineup with it, I have a hard time imagining that it's going to be very easy to squeeze both of these guys into a lineup together, especially if one is the captain. So how do we reconcile that?
Yeah, I think that's where it gets interesting, and we'll see it when we construct a lineup. Dalton Kincaid does free up salary, so that is helpful. It doesn't make it easy, though. So you're going to have to choose between, do I aim for Allen or Stephon Diggs and hope for a ceiling game and work in a turd, which there are some viable turds, or do I go the balanced approach and hope the turds are turds?
Yeah. Or how many turds? How many turds is too many turds? How many turds until you clog the bowl?
More than one is too many.
Yeah. How many turns
That's
did he
the answer.
clock the bowl?
Jeez. Oh, Lord.
Where did this come from? All right. So, other names. Mike Evans has that upside, right? Tre'Davious White is going to be out again for the Bills, and you could throw on them. You could throw on this team. So, Mike Evans, certainly an outside shot, but man, paying almost the same as Allen and Diggs and hoping that Evans outscores them is crazy. Like, let me put it like this. If this was a regular slate on Sunday, Diggs is what, 8,800 and Evans is what, 68?
Yeah.
The gap between those two on a regular slate is much, much bigger than what we're seeing right here. That's all I'm saying. Like from a
totally
percentage of your cap level. James Cook, 8,600 for a running back that I like James Cook a lot, but not a touchdown guy. Hasn't gotten many touchdowns.
Guy, and the usage is there, but we talked about it. Like even just Latz being on the field for half the snaps, that's not what you want to see. So he's in play, he's viable, but just he hasn't been getting it done.
Rachaad White at 8K. I'm sorry, Bobbywow. I cannot. I'm sitting here trying to envisage scenarios of how this game plays out. And I'm trying to get the one in my mind where Rachaad White is one of the higher scoring players. That's a slim.
I had a feeling we might clash on this one a little bit.
It's just slim. It's slim.
I think slim.
Cook could outscore him. How does Rachaad White get there?
Of course, Cook could outscore him, but the Bills are, I don't know, they're not as good against the run as you might think. And I don't know if we're pulling up the model.
Yeah, let me pull up the sheet here because I think there is a misperception that the Bills are better versus the run than the pass.
Once we look at this, I'll explain away a little bit.
Yeah, so let me bring up Bills defense here, and Bills here are allowing 23, almost 24 more rushing yards per game to opposing running backs compared to that running back's average performance. So if Rachaad White is normally getting about 40 yards rushing in a game, we should expect that he would get 64 yards rushing in this game. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think so. That's accurate. That's what this says.
Based on the power ranking sheet that we're showing here, which is really a how would I put this? A non-biased measure of defenses, the most non-biased measure in our opinion. Then you have they're allowing 12 fewer yards per game passing. So yeah, that's fair. They are a little bit less good versus the run than the pass, but Rachaad White kind of sucks. Let's keep it real. I have him on my fantasy teams. It has not gone well. He had a decent.
It has not.
Yeah,
well, part of it's because the expectations were so sky high. I don't think anyone hated Rachaad White coming into the season. He was the darling. He was the pick.
He was my darling. I'm not sure if anybody else. I take full responsibility for that bad call. I will accept. I'm not going to spread that. I was like one of the highest Rachaad White guys you could possibly find. So it's been a disaster for my fantasy teams. But White's okay. 8K is very expensive for what he's going to bring. I think a lot of these other players are better. So
yeah. The ingredients are there for Rachaad White. I think he's maybe the tournament pivot option on this board right here. So I have a lot of interest in him tonight.
You've got Godwin up here, fine. Gabe Davis has done it before. We know that, if they just go away from Diggs he will do it. Gabe Davis has like 2 games a year where he will be that nuts guy. That's fine. Could it be this week? Sure. Why not? Weird shit happens on a Thursday. If a game's ever going to get weird, Bobbywow, it's getting weird on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Like, is there a weirder day for a football game when weird shit happens than Thursday?
This is it.
Yeah. That's when it gets weird. Dalton Kincaid, okay. Any other potential captains that we might be overlooking?
I think people are going to fall in love with the defenses. Bill's defense is going to be popular tonight, even at captain, I think. At least more than normal.
Let's see what we're getting for captain ownership here. Oh, yeah, I've seen about 5%. At this point, people are playing defenses at captain, I think maybe too much.
Yeah, I mean, I would always argue that, but
yeah,
defenses have shown up, but man, that is so chalky. It's hard to stomach a chalky defense.
They got Lats Murray priced all the way up at 4,800. Just no bargain there. Trey Palmer at 4,200. Can't really afford that. You're going to have to live in this zone here today. You will have to make a choice, and it is not a good choice. You can't. There's no way of knowing which one of these trash cans is going to have any kind of fantasy production.
There's no way of knowing. But they're all on the field, so it feels like one of them will.
So take me through the turret zone here. We got Cade Otton at 3K. Again, he's kind of priced at where's the kicker? Oh, 4,600.
Look at the other kicker. He's scroll up.
Whoa, 50.
That's the highest I've ever seen. I think I put it in the notes. That is
5,400 for a kicker? Let me read it with your inflection. 5,400 for a kicker?
I thought that was me. Wow, that was beautiful.
DraftKings continues to raise prices on these kickers. And this is the highest we've ever seen. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what DraftKings is doing here, but we have to reduce our expectation of kickers being in the winning lineups at this point.
Yeah, we do. Although Chase McLaughlin is a little more stomachable, but man, that's crazy. Like that's maybe a cash play only just because of the floor. I suppose you could get to him in cash.
I'm not going to fade it fully, but yeah, I get it. The ownership is going down to 8%, and Tyler Bass at 5,400. Like, how many points does he need to score?
I think that's his projection, 8 points, right? He's still 17% ownership, which is that feels high.
Well, it's 1% in the 1% in captain, 17% flex. Surprising.
It is.
I'm just looking through to see any other captain ownership projections that. Yeah, I mean Baker Mayfield. Thank goodness you didn't put him up there. Didn't make me make the face. I appreciate that. Chase McLaughlin. Yeah, Cade Otton. Of this group, do you have a favorite?
I think Otton's the safest pay down option. Not that he's safe, but he's a guy that's going to be on the field every snap. He'll get 4 or 5 targets, and if he finds the end zone, that's it for him. But I think my favorite's Chase Edmonds from injury. We talked about him. Keyshawn Vaughn is the backup. It's not like he's firmly entrenched as the RB2 by any means. He's looked as bad as you think he would have looked. And Chase Edmonds is a pass catcher, and that's what we look for on DraftKings. It will not take that much.
Has there been any kind of a blurb or anything? It says like he'll get some usage.
Not that I've seen, just specifically talking about the usage he's going to get, but he's going to be active, and the other guy is Keyshawn Vaughn. So I'm going to go ahead and make the assumption that he'll at least see the field. Because to me, all it would take is a couple catches, in theory, right, Geek? It wouldn't take all that much.
You need about 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
Couple of receptions, that's all. Again, for a $200 player, 3 or 4 points, that's all you need.
Yeah.
If you get the 9 or the 10, like if you're already getting an 8 or a 9, that already, that's fine for like a $2,000 player. So a $200 player, it's like 3 or 4 points, and you're probably just fine. Get the rest of that lineup right, and you're probably just fine. So, yeah, this is going to be a turd fest. Let's take a look at DraftKings and see what it feels like to make a lineup. And I want to test the theory that I feel like if you captain Diggs or Allen, you can't play the other one. So if I captain Allen and I try to play Diggs, I'm down to 5K already, and that leaves me with
that's Evans, not even Diggs.
Oh, that's not even Diggs. Wait, it gets worse, right? So 5,200 at this point. I'm just hanging out with Chase Edmonds and more than 1-0.
No, you're getting Kincaid.
Get a kicker in there. All right, a kicker. I mean, I don't want to play a $5,400 kicker. You got to basically overpriced Trey Palmer,
Otton,
double TE. And then you could, so you can make it work with that. Or
the thing is, the guys below him aren't that expensive. That's what makes it reasonable. Like, Evans is up there, but once you get past Mike Evans, it's not that crazy.
So actually, here is how you do it. So the Kincaid, Gabriel Davis, fine. James Cook, fine. So this is not bad, right? Get Godwin in there, get Godwin instead of Evans, and this is not a bad looking overall lineup at all. So you can make it work with those two, but you need the $200 guy, or you need the really cheap guy in there to make it work. I have a feeling though, you really do want Allen in every lineup. Like Allen, how much Allen do you think we need, Bobbywow? Is this 100%er?
Man, I struggle to say 100%, but yeah, I think I wrote in the notes I'm going to be over the field, and the field's going to be all over him. So he's close.
Yeah, good chalk and determined to eat it. So looks like 55, 60, 70% owned across the, he'll be 70% owned.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but no, that makes sense for makes sense for the quarterback. A quarterback like Allen should be that. And more, the crazy would be like Diggs 80 or 70 or 80% owned.
And he is.
He is. So I would say Diggs has a higher chance of not being successful in a game than Josh Allen. Like they could just shut down Diggs randomly. Like they doubled him. We saw it the other day with Tyreek Hill, or I think there was a Cooper Kupp game recently where they just kind of bracketed him and the other dude did the work. So how can we take advantage of this knowledge, right? How about this, Bobbywow?
Yeah, talk to me.
At least one of Diggs or Gabriel Davis in every lineup.
Oh man, I'm not going there.
Too much?
No, I think it's too much.
I'm just saying, if Diggs has that horrible game, man, it's so likely that part of the reason that that's happening is because Davis went off for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I did write that up. And I think, Kincaid's another guy. Like, to me, if you're not going to play Diggs, you want to at least highly consider playing one of Kincaid or Davis. That's the way I look at it. Like,
definitely. You'd almost have to. So I think the rule, in order to make a rule that looks like that would rule them in, not rule anything out, but it would rule that in, it would be stacked between 1 and 3 of these 3 players in every lineup. That will ensure that you use at least one of them.
Yeah.
But not necessarily limit. I don't have to not play Diggs on a Davis lineup. Like, who knows? But that could work. At least one of. I think that would happen anyway, though. It's hard for me to believe that any lineup would be generated that didn't have one of those 3 people in it.
That's true too.
Yeah. So 100% Diggs captain for Kenny G with 100% Allen flex. So he's going all in on that approach, which is fine.
Hard to blame him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind, especially 20 max, as I know Kenny does. That is perfectly acceptable. Although I would say, why not just do 10 of them with Diggs and the other 10 with Josh Allen?
They're so close in price.
Yeah, it's so close in price. You could just flip them. But, you do you. All right, let's try. So we kind of put a lineup together here that looks all right. Let me see if we can do another version here, a Diggs version. So Diggs is cheaper. So if you put in Diggs, you can get to Rachaad White with that same kind of concept. I don't like Rachaad White on this matchup very much at all. Let me just see what Rachaad White did last week. I think he had an acceptable game. It's so bad. He finally did some passing game damage last week. And yeah, the workload is there. You can't take away the workload, but man, the yards per carry hasn't been very good. And the touchdowns or lack thereof. He's got 1 on the season.
That's the thing.
Can't be a running back getting 1 touchdown.
If you're going to be on the field that much, you're bound to eventually run into touchdowns, right? Like that dude, he's playing, but yeah, he's not scoring.
I mean, James Cook is kind of the same guy. Hate to say it, on a slightly more explosive offense, but also not a touchdown guy. There's who I was in my write-up for the weekend slate. This is what I think it was Tony Pollard that popped up for me. I can't remember. Is it him? It was one of the running backs that I was like, this not scoring variance has got to change at some point. There's no way. It was somebody. It might have been Pollard, where like he's just not hitting ceiling because the touchdowns haven't quite been there. But now I can't remember if it was him or who the hell it was. All right, let's talk a little FanDuel.
Let's do it.
Okay.
And maybe 2 more quick things to mention about DraftKings before we move on is I think the 2 alternative turds, and these are like MME turds, okay? But hear me out. I think Reggie Gilliam is a turd in play. And I think if he ends up getting elevated, Joel Wilson is minorly in play as a turd dart throw in 150 lineups. The Bills have one tight end right now. One tight end on the roster. Dalton Kincaid. He's the only healthy one.
Don't fully ignore Gilliam. Or what's this other fellow's name?
Joel Wilson.
Joel Wilson. How about
Alternaturds?
Alternaturd. How about for you? Who is your flag plant? Like, who are you really kind of feeling great about? Is it Dalton Kincaid? You just said the name, but is there some other name like that? Is it Kincaid? Like give me your supreme confidence guy that's not like named Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think it's Dalton Kincaid for me. It's the slam dunk, and then I obviously Diggs and Allen, but Rachaad White. I like Rachaad White, Geek. I can't explain it. He's interesting. And the other guy is Chris Godwin. He's been so bad, but he's so cheap, and he's gotten the targets. So at some point, he's bound to catch some footballs. But yeah, I mean, it's Diggs, Allen, Kincaid, and then probably White, Godwin.
No Evans. Too obvious.
He's so pricey, and he needs to score. If he doesn't score, he's probably not gonna hit value.
That's just Mike Kevin's entire career in a nutshell.
True.
He's a touchdown guy. Like that's what he does. All right, let's shift over to FanDuel real quick. I don't have to mention again, but just a reminder, like Monday night, another showdown takedown, DFS Army. Thursday night, we had 2 people take down the 82K top prize. Congrats to those guys. Monday night, it was the DFS accountant that took, I believe it was like a 20-something K first place down for whatever the Monday night big contest was on DraftKings. So it continues to happen. DFS Army members and subscribers just crushing these showdowns week after week. We're 8 weeks into the season at this point. I don't think we've skipped one. The Sunday nighters have been less good than the Thursdays and the Mondays for whatever reason.
It's been so awesome, though.
It's been spectacular. So I'm excited to see all those big win screenshots. Keep them coming, guys. When you take them down, let us know. You got that DFS Army avatar in your account. You get a swag bag from us when you let us know. You want that swag. These hats are fire, dude. I get them. Oh, you know what we're ordering now? Thick sweatshirts.
I heard a rumor. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you heard the rumor? It's going around?
It's going around. It is.
Yeah. Samples are being sent to the house.
Woo!
I'm not going to pick just any model. You know me. I have to if it's not soft and just perfect, it's not going to happen.
And if they're anything like the shirts that come in the swag bag, man, it's going to be a dream.
22 different versions of that t-shirt showed up at my house before I selected the perfect.
It's a great story. You don't talk about that enough. And you made the perfect choice.
Yeah, it was such a good one. Now I'm just like, yeah, all our swag on that version. It costs more. I don't. You know what the great thing is? Much like the tools that we build at DFS Army, I wear the fucking shirt. Okay, I wear this fucking shirt all the time. I want to be comfortable in it. Like I build this for me. Same thing with the domination. Yeah, I wear it. So I want it to be comfortable. Anyway, if you're not signed up at DFS Army, reminder: 2 things. Free month offer right up here. Look on screen. Click free month. Get free month of DFS. I saw somebody in the chat like, oh, I got to sign up one day. NBA is going now. You need to be in our Discord. That is where all the money's being made. Do the free month offer. Check it out. If you like it, you stick around. If not, no harm, no foul. We part ways. You still watch the videos. We still allow you right here on the YouTube channel, no matter what. So that doesn't go away. And we're still buds, and we'll still answer your question in the chat. All good. But try out the free month. Right?
Do it.
It's not hard. All right. So talking FanDuel, I will remind everybody once again that the things that win on FanDuel are quarterbacks and running backs, most likely. There's only one viable, really, quarterback in this game. And there aren't too many viable running backs. Bobbywow, is it 100% Josh Allen?
You could easily make the argument. I think it's easier to say 100% on FanDuel Allen than it is DraftKings. But yeah, I mean, this slate favors Allen big time. The only issue from locking him in is that he is 17.5 salary wise. That's 4K more than Baker. That's sizable.
Yeah, that is sizable. But what are you going to do?
Right.
It's Josh Allen. He's probably the only person. So if I had to think of the players in this game that have a shot at 25 plus, it's Josh Allen, it's Stephon Diggs, and it's probably just Mike Evans, and that's it. I'm not sure that I give James Cook scores the most points on FanDuel much shot at that. Although, he's a running back. He belongs here.
It would take a miracle. Yeah, it would take a lot.
Rachaad White hasn't scored a touchdown all fucking season. He needs 2 or 3 in this game in order to get there. I'm just keeping it real. Like it could happen. Anything can happen. But like that is not what this kid has been doing this year.
Can I tell you the scenario? It is a slosh fest game. If this game gets messy, which I think is certainly possible, that's where you could see, the unlikely chance of a Rachaad White or a James Cook or even a Baker Mayfield outscoring Allen. But I think that's maybe the only scenario where we see that.
Could happen. Or Allen hurts his calf. Something happens. Gets weird. Something weird happens. Weird shit happens on the showdown, by the way. I want to actually, I gotta call you and DFS Up North out. For you guys who watch the Monday breakdown, you talk about guys nailing a slate and just hitting it right on the head. Both you and DFS Up North were adamant that the Vikings were going to be super competitive against the 49ers on Monday night. That showdown breakdown was spectacular. And I'm going, why? How are they going to be competitive? They get their ass kicked. And nope, you guys nailed it. Really just, it's like your words played out on the screen. It was freaking incredible. So kudos on just crushing it on Monday and all season long with really sharp takes. I've been super impressed as always.
It's been good. It's been good across the board. Yeah. We don't talk enough about your takes either, but
I'm the lovable, punching bag, and it's fine.
Get out of here.
I'll take that role. I will absorb the hate. That's my job. I'm like a lightning rod of send it my way. But these guys are awesome. Yeah. So yeah, Rachaad White. Anybody else? Yeah, I would throw Mike Evans in the mix just because I want another name, but like that's about all I can think of for the reasoning.
Yeah, and I mean, again, all those guys are long shots, right? Allen is far and away the favorite to be the top scorer. So
yeah. How do you make it work? Let's take a look at some of these lower cost plays here. Yeah, Godwin. You want touchdown scores on FanDuel. That is what FanDuel is all about. Gabriel Davis scores touchdowns. I like Davis on FanDuel. He's a touchdown guy when he's he has that 2 touchdowns in one game upside every single week. I don't care what the game is.
He's scoring touchdowns this season too. He's priced up.
He's priced absurd, but it doesn't matter. If you're trying to win a tournament, it doesn't matter. Like basically, if he's not doing that, you're effectively not going to win shit. So like when you play him, you're basically locking yourself into that because at that price, there's no in between.
Yep. And there really is. I put that in the write-up.
Yeah, quintessential boomer bust. That's right. Listen, Bitcoin is stable if you compare it to other cryptos.
Or if you compare it to Gabe Davis fantasy production. Either way.
That's right. Bills defense in play. Tyler Bass and Chase McLaughlin. Again, much better here on FanDuel. What the hell's going on with DraftKings? Why are they messing with my showdown stuff right now? I feel like they're messing with things. I feel like they're messing with stuff.
It's this like initiative to make defenses more exciting and field goal kickers less.
Dude, if Baker is actually dating Britney Spears, if this is real, which I don't believe.
Here we go.
And she's going to be in there Taylor Swift style, then I will put Baker right up in my captain spot. He will be elevated. If he started dating Britney Spears, he would get elevated for me. I'd find that better. Just like Taylor Swift, but like a lower class version.
A generation before. That's all.
Is it? All right. Sorry, I'm old. I'm in a lower class. Like Taylor Swift is so wholesome and Britney Spears is the opposite.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what I mean. So Kate Otten, whatever, touchdown guy. Dalton Kincaid at 7,500. I mean, once again, I see your love shining through here. That is the best play.
He's the only tight end. I mean, he's the only tight end for the Bills. He was getting usage with Dawson Knox healthy and Morris healthy. So I don't know how you can't like him. On paper, he's, to me, the best value play, and it's not close.
The other thing that's popping for me right here is Lats Murray and FanDuel, he's a much better play. This is the kid who's going to be in the game for those goal line rushes. They don't allow a lot of goal line rushes, right? Like it's usually Josh Allen taking them. They're not handing it to the running back all that frequently, but it's more likely to be Lats Murray in there, as gross as he is, than it is James Cook. So all it takes on FanDuel is probably a touchdown at 7K, and you're in the discussion.
Yep.
It's like just one touchdown, couple more yards, maybe 6 doesn't get you there, but 7.5 probably does. It's like really close. You need a little more than a touchdown at 7K, but not like that much more. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
I agree.
He's playable. K-Shack, we've seen him score a touchdown in a game in his career. The rest of these guys, yeah, I mean, these tarts and darts and turds, that is the correct description.
Far more turtly on FanDuel than DraftKings.
Yeah, you can't play this kind of thing. Deontay Hardy's had a touchdown in his career also. If I had to go through this group, maybe Deontay Hardy, best of them. I don't know.
Yeah, Hardy, Edmonds, Sherfield, but tough sells on FanDuel, even still.
Yeah, really gross. Let's see what it feels like to make a lineup here on FanDuel, and then we'll get final thoughts, so be ready for that. I need to stop eating right before this.
Yeah. What did you
rushed
eat?
in a meal? I had like a meeting and sitting heavy. So we start with Josh Allen. Expensive. Down to 10. So I'm going to throw in Dalton Kincaid because he, to me, like this starting pairing seems like how you want to start most of these.
Yep.
All right. 11-6. So at 11-6, you're either hanging out in this kind of, kicker defense Gabe Davis zone with no other studs, or if you
what
want
happens if you put Diggs in? Let's see.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Yeah. So okay, down to 10K. So with Diggs, you don't necessarily want Gabriel Davis in there. I wouldn't mind getting Mike Evans, but if you did that, no, right? Even a super punt.
Hardy.
Yeah, you'd have to do that, which lineups will look like this.
Maybe Chase Edmonds, thinking they'll need to throw the ball.
I have a feeling Chase Edmonds is going to get a 0, but I have a feeling I kind of think Chase Edmonds is a 0.
I wouldn't use him on FanDuel. DraftKings is the place to punt Edmonds.
Yeah, I'll play this on DraftKings for the 2 or 3 pointer. You can't have that on FanDuel. You need to get points from every position. I'd rather, at this point, with 10K left, I'd probably rather go something like kicker, defense, or like, and if I could get to Gabe Godwin or Rachaad White. You love Rachaad White, so if you try to squeeze Rachaad White in there, you can get White and Cade Otton. I don't love Otton that much.
Terrible.
He's not great. Cade Otton is a pretty mediocre.
Oh yeah, his ceiling isn't quite there, but
that could work. So if that's
what about Seabass? You don't like the kickers here?
I do like the kickers. So let's put in T-Bass.
So
when you get T-Bass, you either have to go double kicker or like a Bills defense onslaught.
If you go McLaughlin, I think you can fit Gabe Davis in.
Yeah. I don't know if I like Davis and Diggs in the same lineup. Problem. I feel like it's probably one or the other. If I go McLaughlin, wait a minute. I know. If I go McLaughlin, can I get to Mike Evans?
I don't think so.
Or how about Lats Murray? No.
Still.
Yeah, I'd love to get all the way up to Evans for that extra time, or at least Baker. What's the story with Baker? 17, 23.
He could do it. He'll more than likely throw it for 225 yards and 1 touchdown with a pick, but he's done it before.
If this was a cash lineup, it really should be Baker Mayfield in it. Even he's not that great. He's probably good for 12 to 16 fantasy points on FanDuel, which is probably better than most of the players. Like that's going to be at the high end of anybody. And then the kickers. Yeah. So it doesn't really work, though, with Diggs, Allen, and Baker. You can see here, you have to punt to an uncomfortable zone.
Yeah.
And it is uncomfortable here. So
Khalil Shakir is really your only bet. But again, that's not very safe.
No, that not at all. So you can see how the math is really kind of working out. if you play Diggs, he damn well better outscore a lot of other people. It's maybe safer, but lower upside to go something like this, and then you could finish it out with an actual player that's going to get some snaps like that. So there,
and that's that's the math you're doing, right? Like you can say, I could have Diggs and Shakir, and here's what I think they're going to score, or I could have Evans and Latz.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that's how you work it out in your head. Figure it out.
Fritz says play some Bucs defense, which it didn't really necessarily occur to me that they were playable, but you know what? I would say this: Bills' offense hasn't been that great lately. Like an opposing
Josh Allen is turning the ball over like it's going out of style too. Yeah. So definitely in play.
I think he bounces back here. I don't think that poor play continues, but you never know. If this is on the road,
Allen as putting up good score in the Bucs, they're really cheap on DraftKings. So yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Acceptable. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for us, Bobbywow. Showdown breakdown, Thursday Night Football. This is another one. I want to see some more takedowns going on. Any last thoughts or concepts here? Focus DraftKings. I love Dalton, but give me an overall, or is there anything that we missed?
Yeah, I would just say in tournaments, don't be afraid to get turdly. So I think there's more viable turds and paydowns on this slate than we've seen in a while. So, Josh Allen and Diggs, chances are they're going to put up really good scores, and the best way to fit them in is to get a little turdly. So don't be afraid to do that tonight.
Yeah, I'll remind everybody, because even I forgot ever since we read this out on the damn screen, because these names are so obscure, that Trey Palmer, Devin Tompkins, and Raheem Jarrett are all not only getting snaps, but getting targets. So these are not just your regular average garbage players that will not see a target. These guys are getting targets and real snap share. Trey Palmer, 64%. Devin Tompkins, 9% targets on the season. Who? Wait a minute. Do I not have? Wait, I do have something for this guy. I should have been ready for this. I thought I had a who are you? What is this? Who are you?
Accurate.
Who are these guys? So, yeah, I think Devin Tompkins. Who's Devin Tompkins?
Who's getting 4 targets a game. I think he's the guy. He's the guy that's been getting all those targets. Trey Palmer is $3K more expensive than Tompkins is, and they're essentially getting the same amount of targets.
Can't even spell Devin Tompkins. Yeah, hold on a second. $1,600 guy. 3, 4, 4. Who is this man? Like, this guy came out of nowhere, getting 4 targets a game. Can't really ask for much more than that at 1,600.
No, it's a solid punt.
I'm about it. Devin Tompkins. All right, I'm going Devin Tompkins for the Monies. There it is.
I love it.
Straight tripping, 24/7.
Jeez.
Andy Isabella elevated from practice squad. Another name. What team is he on?
Another name.
Is that the Bucs?
There's so many turds.
Oh man, a lot of turds. Yeah, but you only need one.
Can I be totally honest? I thought Isabella was still on the Arizona Cardinals, but he's on the Bills.
I don't think what team he's on is relevant at all. This guy never did anything on the Cardinals. He never did anything on the Bills. He never did anything anywhere. Stinks. Give me K-Shack over that guy all day.
Yeah, he becomes what, the 4th WR3 at best.
Yeah. No, passing on that one. Good luck, everybody. Let's kick ass. We will be back, Bobbywow and I, on Friday at 5, right here on the DFS Army channel, for the Tournament Tactics show. It's your favorite show that we do. Make sure you are liked, subscribed, and have your notification bell. You can watch it live. Get in the comments section. All that good stuff while we do it live. I got so much to talk about on this main slate. It is Sam Darnold week, and I'm about it.
Man, that is quite the teaser there.
Yes.
I'm leaned in.
Right. I'm about it's Sam Darnold week in DFS land. We're going full Lord of the Rings with Samwise the Scared. We're doing it. All right, so we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys on Friday. Good luck tonight, everyone.